everybody, this is Martin Stokes here,
And this is Dean Scurry.
and I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a countryman
Podcast. So tell me something, are we actually recording now?
Yep.
Why did you not tell me that?
Because sometimes I just don't tell you everything.
But remember I told you about your phone when I'm ringing you and you're on your loudspeaker. Remember I warned you about that? Remember I said, Dean, don't be on the loudspeaker, let me know if you're on loudspeaker, if there's people with you,
What's that got to do with recording?
It's not got to do with recording. It's like you never told me I was recording, like you never seen it on loudspeaker. There could be people with you, so I could be liable to talk about anything. Now, I'm not a backbiter or a ballyragger, but if I was, it means I could be talking about the person that you're sitting beside.
And I'm recording it?
No, it's possible I could be saying something negative about them. No, not recording, you're on loudspeaker. It's possible I could be talking negative about that person.
Ballyragging.
I shouldn't be doing it, but it could happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So basically, the ignorancy is on you. Because you never said, Martin, you're on loudspeaker here. Do you know what I mean? So you let me know where we stand kind of stuff.
Martin, you're on record here. The Ballyragger.
Ballyragger.
That'd be a good nickname for you.
Ballymun Ballyragger.
The Ballymun Ballyragger.
I like that one. The Ballymun Ballyragger. Did you ever hear that before? You did?
The Ballyragger.
Yeah. I think I told you before, didn't I?
I think I heard it before, but I hadn't heard it in years.
I think I told you, but you didn't. You told me you didn't know what it meant, really, is you?
No, it's a pure traveller way of saying
It
something.
is a traveller's word, yeah. A ballyragger. Backbite. You've heard of backbite, haven't you? Do you do much backbiting, Dean? Come on, straight up.
Sometimes I bitch a little bit.
Yeah?
It's not good, but sometimes you just get annoyed at fuckers, you know what I mean?
So...
Here's what I get. I get a bit impatient and a bit frustrated. And then that comes out by me turning lumps out of somebody.
So that means you're turning lumps on me the whole time because you're always angry with me.
No, I actually...
Always frustrated.
I'm not always frustrated. Sometimes
times.
I are because
9 times out of 10.
You...
So you just
talk
admitted
to
that
me.
you actually eat the bones of me, backbiting and ballyrag me.
You talk to me like you think I'm married to you. I'm not married to you.
No, thank God I'm not married to you, Dean, no. I have a lovely wife, lovely family, I'm happy with all of that. But the point about it is, I know sometimes you act like a woman, but I can't help that. That's not my problem. If you act like complaining and
Is that how your wife talks?
No, not my wife.
You said a woman.
No, I didn't say my wife. I
Oh,
said
you're
sometimes
digging the whole
act
back
like
in there
a
now.
woman, and I'm not talking about every woman. I'm talking about a really distressed, angry woman. You just said that, didn't you?
Do it again.
Think about what it is. We can't understand the words you're saying when you're angry. Remember I told you here one time, I said, Dean, you remind me of an angry traveller woman. Why am I using traveller woman? I don't know. I'm only being sarcastic, okay? But yeah, I think sometimes you do a lot of unnecessary bitching.
Yeah. Do you do any?
You just said every time you get stressed out with somebody, you intend to like backbite them and...
No, not every time. Sometimes.
You said sometimes, yeah.
I catch myself when I'm doing it though.
So
and then I realise that what's the rush? We're not all perfect. None of us is perfect. And just relax. It teaches me patience. When I see myself doing that, I just go, fuck it,
yeah, but for a
relax
while
there.
there, Dean, I thought that you were perfect till I had to correct you a few times.
Thank you.
And I sort of had to explain to you in a way where you understood, Dean, you're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So it sort of brought you down a little level then to, let's say, off the high horse, yeah? And now you're sort of being a little bit more, more civilised in life, about life, yeah? Is that right? So I'm glad I've done that for you, but the only thing you never ever say thanks for anything, do you, Dean?
Do you find it hard to give me a compliment?
Anyway. Do I find it hard to give you a compliment?
Yeah.
No, you said you go swimming in the sea every single day.
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very hard thing to do. And you
It's
said...
hard not to do it.
You're probably thinking the other way around.
It's hard not to do it. Like you going to Mass. It'd be hard for you not to go to Mass.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very hard for me not to go.
I go and meet God in the sea.
I beat myself up if I don't go to Mass.
Do you?
Yeah, honestly, I feel really bad and guilty about it. And
Guilt is an interesting thing. Guilt is really interesting. Like, that's why I've said, if I talk bad about somebody, sometimes I feel a bit guilty and I go, right, relax. You know, the whole world doesn't bleed and revolve around you and your mad ideas. Like, and sometimes then if I tear strips
so
out
what
of
do
someone,
you say to yourself? Chill out, Dean Scurry.
just like, have a bit of patience, relax. There's no rush. Now, I used to get like really I'd put a lot of brain power into it, and it'd stress me out. But
When
you
say
have to
brain
just,
power, like, what do
I'd
you
just
mean?
be thinking of stuff all the time.
So in other words, you take yourself away from everything else and just focus on your anger. Is that what you're saying?
Not me anger, but just focusing on what other people are doing and thinking about what other people are doing. And then I realised,
Is that good or bad?
it's none of my bleeding business.
Yeah, that's right. You take. Are you saying like as if you take other people's problems on board, kind of thing?
Or if other people are not doing the thing that they should be doing in the time that I think they should be doing it.
That's like you making demands, like, is it?
Yeah.
You're upset because people don't do things the way that you.
You know the way we have it in our head and we think that we're right. Not just me, fucking everybody does it. You know what I mean? We think we're right and everybody's wrong, and if they don't do it the way we think it should be done, we get all upset and annoyed and angry at them.
Is that self-righteousness?
It is a little bit of self-righteousness and a little bit of impatience, and I'm learning patience.
Are you? Since when you learn them? Since I come around, is it?
A little bit when you've been around.
Because the first day I met you, you put the hands up for a fight. Remember that? Remember I said to you, Dean, you must have never been in a traveller's site before. Then you dropped the hands again. Remember that?
If you want to go there, we'll go there. Because anytime I try and hug you, you nearly try and thump
Yeah,
me.
you remember that? You get the uppercuts. But yeah, that's what I was just thinking. You know, that sort of brings me back to that bit. Like, you know what I mean? That you're sometimes very, is it impatient or impatient? Which is one?
Impatient. Are you like
Very
that?
impatient. Am I impatient?
Yeah.
Am I not a patient person? I think I have good patience. I do get upset and angry for certain things, but times I really, really try to have good patience. Yeah, I do. I'd be inclined to put up with a lot before I'd lose the patience.
Yeah, so I'm learning that. I'm learning just to let it go, let people do their thing. Don't be annoyed at people. Don't be putting your timetable or your demands on them. And that takes you experience and ups and downs and your life to learn that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. But don't. The thing about it is, you by being impatient, you can be giving those around you a hard time without realizing it. But also, you can be giving yourself a harder time if you're impatient about stuff, and you're panicking about it, and worry about that, and rushing and racing here and there. I can't say much for that because I'm probably the worst at that. Yeah, I'm always rushing. And
That's why I just asked you. Are you impatient?
I mean, I have great patience with people.
Yeah.
But with myself, I'm not the most patient person in the world with myself. If there's something to be done, I like to go and do it. Get it done, get it out of the way, or sometimes you might have 5 or 6 things on a list to do. And it sort of puts that pressure on you. So then I'm impatient about that because I like to get it done. So there's probably different types of patience or impatience or what in different situations. I don't know. I'm not a specialist in this, like, you know. So I'm trying to work it out here, like, you know.
And what do you like with yourself when you don't get the thing done you want to get done?
I tend to blame myself for it. I don't be like sort of trying to point the finger at everybody, like, you know, you're the fault for this, you're the fault for that. It depends if somebody's involved with something and they are the fault for it, or they're the problem or the reason. If I'm trying to get something done myself, I like to get straightforward and just do it. It's not always like that because there's like little holdbacks in all parts of life, you know what I mean? We don't always, it's like, do you ever plan your day?
I loosely plan it. Like, I'll probably 1 or 2 things. If I have to be somewhere, like I have to meet somebody or I have to be in work, I'll put that as part of the plan. But then I'll also put in, I should go for a cycle or go for a swim.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you go up in the morning, right? Right. So would you plan your day beforehand?
Like the day before?
The day beforehand or that morning when you get out of bed?
Yeah, and that morning I'll go, right, how many hours do I have before I have to do A, B and C? Right, I've got about 5 hours. Here's what I'll do. I'll chill out, have a shower, have breakfast, do some stretching.
So basically you sort of do plan it, yeah. I'm not really a planner for my days. No, I like to sort of take things as they are, kind of. Like, although I'd know, like, say, right, I'd have stuff to do tomorrow, right? Let's say I sort of kind of stay flexible, if you like. I won't just make a strict rule that this has to be done, that has to be done. I can sort of move things around and say, look, okay, I'll do this first.
Yeah, so you can plan and you're flexible. I'm kind of like that as well. I can move things around. If I have a plan, grand. If I don't have a plan, grand, but I can move things around.
Would you, if you had, 5 or 6 things to do now, would you be inclined to get the important things out of the way if there's no time limits on them? Or would you just go and do things randomly, like?
Yeah, I'm a bit random. I'll go and do the thing that I feel at that time is the thing to go and do.
That's not the best answer now.
That's my answer though, so it's for the best for me.
Yeah, but I'm not fully satisfied with that answer.
It's nothing got to do with you. It's my
life.
He's
asking the question. I'm Gabe Byrne here. Excuse me.
God rest it.
God rest poor Gabe Byrne, and may God give him a happy bed in heaven.
God give him what?
God give him a happy bed in heaven. A good happy bed in heaven.
Do you think we actually have beds in heaven?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like there's a bed?
Well, it's the word we say, yeah.
No, but do you think there's an actual bed there?
Well, yeah, sleep peacefully in heaven, so there must be a bed.
No, we say that though, but do you think in heaven there's an actual bed?
Actual bed?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone fully knows what heaven is like. There's been some past saints, all right, who have went to heaven and came back to earth. There's been past saints who...
you can't just say that and then let it go. There's been saints who went to heaven and then came back to earth. Who were they? Listen,
you can interrogate me in a few minutes, okay? What I'm saying here is there's been past saints who went to hell, observed hell and purgatory, and came back to heaven, came back to on earth. It's the plan that God had for them. Because God wanted He wanted these saints to basically go back to earth, tell people what heaven is like, and also tell them what hell is like. Tell them what purgatory is like.
So who are they? Do we know them?
Yeah, I know of one very powerful saint, Saint Faustina. Jesus appeared to her, and he told her to tell people to do the Divine Mercy Chaplet, especially at the hour of 3 o'clock in the day. He said, the heavens are opened and my mercy will pour out upon those people who believe, and nothing will be refused.
What's the chaplet?
Chaplet is like a rosary. You do like 10 little prayers on the small beads. You do one prayer on the big beads. And you do that until you start off and go around to the very end of the rosary then.
So see these beds?
What beds?
The ones up in heaven?
Yes.
Is that like a... No, I'm not taking the piss now. I just want to get a picture in your head.
I have a spare microphone here, and I'm sort of, as I said earlier on, feeling flexible, so I wouldn't have no problem throwing that, like, you know. That's the traveller side of me.
Show a little bit of patience now, right? I was going to try and get a picture of, in your head... Like, because we do say stuff like, you know, everyone says it, Johnny died, he's going to get the best bed in heaven.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Do you think that those people or you think there's an actual bed there?
Yes, I do believe there is.
Okay. And all the beds look the same?
I don't know, I can't answer that question because I do not know, but I think there's a bed there for me if I, let's say, if I can purchase a ticket for it.
So do you think, other than beds, is there other stuff?
Peace.
Is there shopping centres?
Love.
Peace and love.
Joy. Happiness.
Push bikes.
I don't know about push bikes or shopping.
But there's
you
beds.
See, the thing about it is, all our struggles here on earth, like everything on earth is a struggle. Absolutely everything. The thing about it is, when we go to heaven, all them struggles are just wiped away. We don't have to worry about bikes. We don't have to worry about shopping centres. We don't have to worry about anything that you just mentioned.
But beds.
Yeah, the bed. You sleep. It has to be
the
somewhere.
way you said that. Yeah, but the beds. Like there's nothing else there but a load of beds.
Well, it's so full of angels.
Yeah.
And the saints.
They're all knackered, tired. They just want to sleep.
And basically, it's so peaceful. Like, I'll give you a glimpse, right? Just a little glimpse of what my imagination would be, right?
Oh, yeah. Go on.
When I go to Medjugorje, yeah, this is obviously it's sort of maybe it might be sound silly way to bring it out. Although I haven't been in heaven, yeah, I'm working on it though, yeah.
I think you'll get in.
When I go to Medjugorje, yeah, why do you think I get in?
Oh, tell us the Medjugorje story and then I'll
You
tell
tell
you.
me first why you think I get in.
Because you're a good man.
How do you know I'm a good man? You only know me 2 years now.
As soon as I seen you, I knew you were a good man.
Oh, you knew. So you're one of the saints now. You can tell if people are good or bad, is it?
Could you tell if I'm good or bad?
What?
Could you tell if I'm good or bad?
Yeah, I can tell once I get to know you, not by just looking at you.
No, but like now, could you tell?
You're sort of okay, yeah. As I said, don't be eating all the
I
sugar
know it's
lumps.
hard for you to pay me compliments in any way.
Yeah, I don't like what you call it, Dean. I don't like people getting excited too much. Like, you know, man. As I said again, giving them all that the sugar lumps. I think you're okay. I think you're very ignorant sometimes,
Would I get in?
but I let you off with that.
Thank you.
The ignorance, I can overlook ignorance because sometimes a good person. Did you ever know that a good person can be ignorant? A good person, you see, we all have weaknesses, and that weakness in you can be ignorancy. Now, you might do 100 good things, and all of a sudden you're spoiled by one bad thing. In other words, if I wasn't an understandable person, yeah, and you were doing a load of... It's like, do you ever do somebody favours, yeah? And you're a nice guy, you're a great guy, and he's a nice man, he do you a favour, and he help you out, and he do this, that, and the other, yeah? You could do this 100 times. And then that one time, the same person comes and asks you for a favour, and you can't do it for them for one reason or another. Then you're the worst guy in the world. Did you ever get that?
Yes,
I've often got.
but that's not the way I see it. If someone does 100 things that are good and they do one thing that are bad, we all do things that are bad. So I'm all right with that.
No, but I'm all right with that as well. I didn't say that's
So
the way
where
I
would
see
you say
it.
where's the ignorance thing then?
1 minute. The ignorance is this is the point I was trying to make to you. You can do 100 good things, and then you can do that one ignorant thing. You might do that ignorant thing today and tomorrow and the next day and every day. But that could be your weakness. So you could be the kindest guy in the world, but you just have that weakness about you.
So then we all have ignorance and weakness.
No, it mightn't be a constant ignorance. It could be in certain topics or certain conversations.
So do you have the ignorance and the
Oh,
weakness?
I am an ignorant person sometimes, yes, and I find it it's my weakness, but it's not all the time. It's not always there. Let's say I try to be more kinder than ignorant, and if I am ignorant with somebody and I realise I've been ignorant, I like to say sorry.
Help me understand what you mean by ignorant.
Ignorance can probably come in a lot of different forms.
Yeah, but so give an example so I can understand.
It can be ignoring somebody.
Yeah.
That's ignorant.
Okay.
It can be, again, turning your back on somebody is ignorant. Taking something from somebody without asking or even saying thank you or please. They're two important words, thank you and please. They give you a picture of a person's manners. Someone does something for you and you just, that's it. There's no saying thank you or I want something, can I have that please? Or are you using that please? Or is it okay if I buy this if you don't mind please? They're two very powerful words, aren't they? Two important words. But they can be very, very hurtful if a person don't use them. That's ignorant. Very, very ignorant.
You said I was ignorant, so just give us. Do you have an example of that so I can see it in
being
my
honest
head?
with you, I was being sarcastic with you.
Ah.
So now you're
I think sarcasm is one of your weaknesses.
Listen to me for 1 minute. Now you're ticking all.
Yeah.
You're ticked that you couldn't understand that I was being sarcastic saying you were ignorant.
Yeah, why do you be sarcastic? There's a bleeding question.
Yeah,
sometimes you use sarcasm.
Yeah, I love it.
And you think it's a joke.
I love it.
Why?
Because I tell you why I love it. Because I use it in a good humorous way.
So just use good humour then, instead of sarcasm.
That is part of my good humour, part of your sarcasm. But I'm not using it in a bad way to offend or hurt or upset anybody, am I? So maybe there's even different types of sarcasm, is there?
Does anyone ever come to you and go, I don't appreciate your sarcasm?
No, because I don't use it everybody.
You only use it on me, do you?
I have to use it a lot, to be honest. I do it a lot.
I think you use it as a defence mechanism.
No,
because you feel insecure around me.
No, it's not even that. I use it to sort of express my kindness.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you
yes,
don't. You're
I
making
do.
that up. Well, you want to start looking at it better way you're using it to express your kindness.
No, here. Have I upset you yet? Are we fighting? No.
Sometimes I'd be a bit pissed off at you.
Well, yeah, well, that's your problem. I'm not the problem here then, if that's the case.
Yeah, that's why I'm learning patience. That's why I said I'm learning patience.
And I'm being funny about it, and you just can't handle that
Sometimes
situation.
I'd be a bit tired looking at you and listening to you.
Yeah,
you'd be
well, I'm
going,
sorry I didn't bring no lollipops this evening for you. Okay, maybe the next time.
You brought some
Jellies there, but I get
jellies.
none of them. So, back to the ignorant. You asked me a question about being ignorant.
Ignorant. What? Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Trying to
ignorance
explain it.
can be a weakness in a person. Again, as I said, you could be a very kind and good-hearted person. You just might have that thing in you where you cannot help yourself, and you might not mean to be ignorant. It's probably a stupid explanation, but you might not mean. Like I can honestly say that I have been ignorant with people in the past.
Everyone has.
Well, I'm just saying to you.
There isn't
Yeah,
a
but
person.
not
There
everybody-
isn't a person born or
Come
dead
here.
that hasn't been ignorant.
I'm not disputing that point with you, but I can honestly tell you now that some people don't up to it and don't even apologise for it or even maybe sometimes even realise how ignorant they are. Do you understand? Until someone tells them.
So, am I getting into heaven?
I don't know. I'll have a chat with God and see what he says.
No, but like genuinely in your head, I know it's not up to you, but what would you think? Are you getting into heaven?
Well, you see, Dean, let's be honest with it, right? I can't say who's going to heaven, who's not going to heaven, but I can tell you now that I'm going to try my best. So I don't know. People might say, yeah, I'm going to heaven because you're so confident about yourself. There's saints, good, powerful saints in the past, yeah,
Yeah.
that have went to purgatory, who never went to heaven.
So, and
But
he's still in purgatory.
will. There's no telling that. No one can tell that right now because it depends how you live your life. If you want to be a good person, if you want to be a criticizer, a balleragger, a backbiter, a judge, or a robber, a thief, or whatever you want to be, if you want to break all the rules, then you're going to answer for that. But if you want to try, I'm not saying anybody's perfect, and I'm definitely not saying that we're going to be perfect. What I am saying is, we all have that free will to be a good person or be a bad person. We have to make our choices. And if we make the choices of trying to be a good person, well, then we have a better chance of getting to heaven. I can tell you this, it's not an easy walk, believe me. It's actually harder and a lot harder. It's an actual struggle to walk the straight and narrow, to be, to try to live a good life every day.
Why is it so hard?
I'll tell you why it's so hard, because it's like we're being tested. That's what it feels like. It's very, very, very simple to do stuff wrong.
It's very simple to do stuff wrong.
It's
Is it
easy.
hard to do stuff right?
Yes. It is hard to do things
So
right.
being nice and being kind, that's difficult.
No, it depends on what kind of a person you are. Some people have it naturally, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's good. It's a gift alone. Supposing that you are a nice person, you choose not to be. You like forget about the nice. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and you know it's all wrong. Then the nice person is not nice anymore, is he? He's turning bad.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Do you think it's then a choice whether or not people are good or bad?
As I said, we have our own free will. Yes, God gives us a free will to walk the straight and narrow, or if you want, take the wide road. The wide path is easy to travel.
So getting into heaven then is based on our choices.
Yes, I think so.
So we choose.
No, I'm not saying like getting into heaven is completely based on our choices. What I am saying is that it makes a serious contribution.
Our choices and our behaviours. So let's say we choose to do A, B, and C, and that gets us into heaven. And we choose to do X, Y, and Z, and that doesn't get us into heaven.
Yes.
Is it a choice then?
Yeah, we have choices. Yes.
So do we choose whether or not we get into heaven?
Well, let's put it this way. You told me before you don't believe in heaven. You don't
I don't
believe
believe
in,
in the version of heaven that the way you describe it, with beds and all that.
So, whoa. I didn't describe that. You asked me that.
You said a bed in heaven.
So I'm picturing here, yes, look at God rest the dead and God give them all the past happy beds in heaven, yeah? That's a word you're going to use anyway. Through our faith, we believe, yes, that there is a place in heaven for all good souls, and that there is a bed in heaven where we can rest and be at peace.
I get that.
Like, I couldn't imagine sleeping on the floor or sleeping on top of a wall or...
Do you think there's walls in heaven?
This is what I'm trying to say to you. I couldn't imagine that. I don't imagine that.
You're not sleeping on the floor.
I can picture heaven as one big, plain, beautiful cloud, big, plain ground. and it's open and free to everybody.
And there's loads of beds, and there's people in the
And we're
beds.
all just living happy, and everybody is smiling, and our hearts and our minds and souls are cleansed and all at peace.
And
everybody again.
And some people are there, and some people are in purgatory, and some people are in hell.
Yes.
And some of the people in
the more sins you commit here on earth, you will either go to hell or you go to heaven. Now, I know these are powerful words to be saying, okay?
Yeah, but they're the words that are in the Bible that you read.
It's what I'm taught, yes, absolutely. So therefore, I don't want to go to hell, but I'm aiming for heaven. If I get to purgatory, I'll sort of, work it from there.
That's a good deal for you.
That'd be a good deal, yeah.
The Pope, I don't know if you heard this.
Yes.
He said, we're at the reconsidering and we're at the realising that there's no thing called purgatory. Did you ever hear that?
We're after realising that.
Yeah. They said there's no thing called purgatory.
No, I never heard that.
So
if it was said, I've never heard it being said by the Pope. The Pope is our leader here, right? If you have belief in God and you're in the Catholic Church, yeah, he is the leader of our Catholic Church. Okay, his job is to lead people to heaven, not to tell them that there's no purgatory, there's no hell. And anyone who doesn't believe that there's no hell, they're only fooling themselves, because it is a fact there that there's very, very, very intelligent Catholics, yeah, like professors basically, if you like, who've studied all of this stuff, and they said if anyone doesn't believe they don't believe in hell, then they're only fooling themselves. But one priest said, you will when you get there. So if you want to go to heaven, aim for heaven. Simple as. So it's a bigger and longer, and it's a more intelligent, it's a more educated story. It's way beyond my intelligence or my small bit of education. It's more bigger than I could ever explain.
Yeah, but I don't think it's beyond your heart.
No. Yeah, I know what's in my heart. What's in my heart is trying to live a good life. Trying to live a peaceful, a prayerful and holy life. And I have made my mind up to that like years and years and years ago. If anything at all, it's probably built into me, Now again, I'm probably not doing half of what I should do, but God knows I'm only human. So I'll try my best. I try to lead other people in the same direction. I try to teach people about God. I try to learn them, teach them about prayers and mass and divine mercy, the rosary, all this stuff. I do a lot of that, and I have done a lot of it. I hope that I have influenced at least one person. I hope. I don't know if I ever have, but I genuinely do hope I have.
Well, you've got your members of your family.
Yeah, that's very, very important to me. Yeah, thanks be to God for that. Along with praying for my own family every day and hoping that they will do the same, I'd like to go further afield also. I'd like to be able to, if you want, bring Jesus to other people.
So I was talking to you.
Sometimes we might need a bit of a wake-up call,
I was talking to you before about other religions, other faiths, other beliefs,
yes,
other gods, and you said, "Oh yeah, that would be really interesting if we got a guest on, say that was a Muslim or something like that."
Yes, but I wouldn't criticize their faith. I wouldn't. Let's say I wouldn't. Like if whatever religion they are, I would like to listen to them, but I wouldn't criticize their beliefs, because I wouldn't like anybody criticizing my beliefs, because it's all the same to me anyway. Some of us can be weak. For instance, Catholics have converted to Protestants.
Yeah,
Protestants have converted to Catholics. Different religions have converted to Catholics. Me, I know in my heart that there's nobody in this earth that can convert me to another religion. I have myself bound to that.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about converting or criticising. I'm talking about conversations, because faiths and beliefs and religions gods.
What I really was
a lot of them to me seem to be very, very similar.
Right. I'd like to talk to those people about their let's say their ways of life, not necessarily their religion.
Would you be interested in their religion at all?
I would talk to them about their religion.
So then you would.
No, I would talk to them about it. That's all I would do is talk.
So what interests me is
I'd be more interested also in their. I would have a great interest in their cultures. The religion side of it, yes, that would probably come into the subject.
The idea would be if you're talking with somebody about their religion, that you might get the idea, oh, this person is trying to convince me that their religion is the one to, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
No, people will do that.
But they also won't do that. They also will just go, this is what I believe. Here's the set of things that I believe in and the way I do it. And here's the set of things that you believe in and that you do it. And there's some similarities. There's a
lot of similarities
between religions.
You see, we have some people who are really educated in their religion.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, being honest about. We have some people who are not just educated, but also devoted. Let's say they practice what they preach. You can preach all day. It's good, but you also have to practice it. Then you have the practicer that doesn't preach. Does that make sense?
You've got the preacher who doesn't practice. You've got the person who practices and preaches, and then you've got the person who just practices.
But you have some people there who really devote their lives to it. Like people will go to college.
Yeah, and they study like theology.
Their religion, yeah.
Yeah.
They go to Bible studies. They go to certain classes. They really give their lives to it, which is absolutely brilliant. I'd love if I could do that. I do my little bit. I do my best as much as I can. I try to talk to people about these things. People of my faith, basically. Go to mass. Do your prayers. Be kind to people. Simple as. Try and do all the right things. You have a better life. You mightn't have a better life outside you. But I'm not saying you won't have. You probably will do. But you'll guaranteed have a better life inside you. Because that's where it all begins anyway. And that's where it sort of, let's say, it sort of matters. Because if you have it inside you, then you can spread that word and you can teach others. If you don't have it inside you, then you have nothing to give. You have nothing to offer. You have nothing to share. I don't know how to, let's say that where you have nothing to share, you have nothing to give. You have to begin somewhere. And for me, I get a lot of, as I said, I'm not the most educated person or the most intelligent.
Will you stop putting yourself down all the time?
No, I'm just saying, Dean, hold on for 1 second. I'm not putting myself down. I'm saying I'm not the most.
Nobody is the most.
Well, I'm not anyway. I know that for sure.
Yeah, but you are enough.
No, I'm sort of getting there. I'm doing a little bit. Now, you just went distracted something I was going to say, and I keep telling you this. Every time I'm about to say something good, you just blubber in there.
Are you Catholic? Christian?
Of course I'm Catholic.
Forgive me.
Forgive me. You're forgiven.
Thanks.
Okay. You can leave the confession box now. Yeah, I was saying about if you have it inside you.
Yes.
But we can't have it inside us. Like sometimes people can be gifted. You can have a certain gift in your life, but you have to make use of that gift. It's like me knowing, right? Mass is on there tonight, right? It's my duty to go to Mass. Receive the body of Christ, listen to the word of God, bring that word out of that church and pass on to somebody else and tell them how nice Mass was, how good it was, how much I enjoyed it, what I got from it. All that sort of stuff. So if you can make use of that, then you're making use of that gift.
What's your gift?
Like if I said to you, my gift is peace. I love making peace. I like to spread peace. I like to tell others to be peaceful. Don't be arguing and fighting and don't be doing this and don't be making a big deal of this, that and the other. It's a good thing, but I'd mainly talk to younger people about that because I don't feel the need to talk to older people about it because they already have this knowledge.
Blessed is the peacemaker. Is that right? Did I say that right?
God said there's a place in heaven for the peacemaker. I know some good people in the traveller community, yeah, who are really, really good for making peace and keeping the peace, settling arguments and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not going to mention their names. You probably know who it is anyway. But there's some great people out there for that. And I'm telling you now.
Yeah, and you have those.
And they are travellers.
You have those, what's that thing in a bare knuckle fight? What are they called?
Yeah, the fair play men.
Fair play men. They're like peacekeepers.
Yeah, but they're doing a great job. If they're there in the middle and they're separating two lads and they're giving them that opportunity and they're sort of looking at that, come on, shake hands, you have enough now, leave it out, you had a good fight and all this carry on. Well, then they're blessed because they're doing a good thing. They're trying to put a stop to a fight. And they want the two guys that's fighting to be friends. They want them to shake hands. They want them just to settle with after a minute or two and have enough instead of letting them slug it out all day and hurting each other and doing damage to each other and making more badness for each other.
There's a
little bit of...
certain place it has to go to for everybody to be happy.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of... it's like a way of settling an actual argument. So sometimes two fellas there, they hate each other and they want to have a few clouds and they're mad at each other. If they get a couple of thumps at each other, that might be enough then to say, look, right, get them to shake hands and all the badness is knocked out of it then. It's like they got something off their chest kind of stuff. Do you know that sort of thing?
Because they mightn't be able to talk it out and say, look, this is what's going on with me. Can I sit down with you and talk about this stuff? They mightn't be able to do that.
We talked about it before where sometimes people are, you might say, sort of too much pride in them to even think about doing that.
So the peacekeeper or the fair play man can help them get from that place of pride.
That's right.
Over to the next place.
And make them see sense kind of thing and sort of get them to an understanding where, look at that, you don't have to be like this. You don't need to do this.
But also gives them the space to allow them to release that anger. Because if we don't release the anger...
It can be worse, yeah. It can get worse.
We have to release that anger. Anger is a good emotion if it's released properly.
So if you fell out with somebody, yeah, would you want to go and have a bare knuckle fight with them for the release your anger?
No.
So what makes you think then the traveller man is good for him?
Because I see it.
But why do you think it's good for him?
Why do I think it's good for him? Because I see people when they don't do it, when they don't release that anger.
They're still angry.
It's still within them.
Yeah, but isn't that why we say about...
And it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and then you get feuds.
Yeah,
not just in travelling people, but in anybody.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
There's a bit of... In humans, there's a bit where we have anger and we think it's a bad emotion. And I'm saying, it's all right. It's all right to be angry. It's all right to fight. It's all right to have a knock.
Well, it depends. It depends if they're letting this anger overtake them. Like, that's what we talked about. Remember, we talked about forgiveness.
But there's also such thing as releasing your anger through physicality, through boxing, through fighting.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be fighting. It does not have to be fighting. Forget about this thing where you think you have to do it. You're telling yourself you have to fight to release this anger. If you forgive somebody, then you can release your anger. Just by forgiving if you forgive somebody, right, and you're angry with them, you're actually tying yourself down to that anger. You're letting that anger overtake your life. But if you forgive them, you're actually releasing yourself. You're setting yourself free. You're opening a new door to a new world for yourself just by forgiving. Now, it's not easy. Forgiveness is not an easy thing to do, depending on the level of anger that somebody has caused for you. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can be easy, but then sometimes it might take a long time to forgive somebody. But the day that you forgive somebody is the day that you actually set yourself free. It has at times settled the bigger problems, yes. Everybody walks away winners, if you like, because something has been put to bed and forgotten about, which is a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Even if you're never involved, if it's nothing to do with you, when you hear that somebody has settled an argument or has put it to bed or just became friends again, that's a wonderful feeling.
So
but that's God working in these people.
I was listening to Roger Waters from Pink Floyd.
Yes.
You know Pink Floyd?
The singers, yeah.
So Roger Waters from Pink Floyd was on Joe Rogan's podcast and he was talking about that he's constantly thinking about the big fight that's happening in the world. And the big fight is between Russia and NATO, or Russia and America. Mm-hmm. And they're threatening a big fight, as in nuclear war.
Yes.
And there hasn't been that level of a fight or a threat in 60 years, 50 years. His father died in, I think it was World War II. So he knows about war.
Right.
He knows about fighting. He's a 75-year-old man. You know, he has a big voice. He'd be well respected in certain circles, well respected around the world. Mm. He'd be known as a peacekeeper in certain circles. You know what I mean? He's trying to keep the peace in Palestine between Israelis and Palestinians, people who have two different religious beliefs.
Yes.
so Joe Rogan said to him, well, what have you done about Ukraine? And he said, well, I've sent a handwritten letter to the leader of America and the leader of Russia and the leader of the Ukraine asking for peace, talking to them going, so there's nothing here that we can't talk about if you're willing to talk about it.
That's right. It can be solved.
And that, for me, at the moment, they're having a knock. They're in a field in Ukraine now, having a knock off each other. They're just using different weapons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there's blood, and there's pain, and there's death, and there's misery. And all he's asking for is going, do you think you can forgive each other?
Just talk.
Just talk, just have dialogue. Just, do you want it? But the will has to be there. The will, the choice. We can choose whatever we want. We can choose to go into heaven.
Yeah.
If we want, if we make the right decisions and we have the right behaviours.
We can choose to want to go to heaven.
But our behaviours are the things that get us in there or not.
Yeah, that's right. We can't be say we're a peaceful man and still be a blackguard.
No, sure, that's only a lie then. We're only lying to ourselves.
That's what I'm saying, yes. Back to peace. For a person to have peace or to, say, be given peace, you actually have to want peace. You can't, as you said about a lie, you can't lie to yourself, want peace in your life, but not be willing to make it. So that would be a difference in real and true peace in your lives.
So I think sometimes when you have feuds, for example, and that's a feud, that's the biggest fucking feud there is, right? Nuclear war is the biggest feud there is.
Yes.
A traveller family fighting against another traveller family is another feud.
It is, but the thing about it is every argument is a big argument because the only people feel the effects of it is the people that's caught up in it. So regardless if it's worldwide or it's not worldwide, it still affects that individual that's involved.
Just on the feuding thing, because I know we have this thing in our heads sometimes when we're in a feud or when we're in a fight that we get caught up in the history of it and the emotions of it and the revenge of it. And this person done this to my country 100 years ago and I just can't let that go. We have that in our own country, in Ireland.
That's right.
I just can't let that go. They done this and I want my revenge.
To have. If people could understand more about forgiveness and use forgiveness as a weapon, let's put it this way, you couldn't explain to them, even if you wanted to, how happy they could be if they used their forgiveness as a weapon.
Man, I've known you about a year, and for me, that's the most profound thing you've said.
Well, whatever comes to my mind.
So, and that's why I'm saying to you, stop kicking yourself for not knowing all the information and all the knowledge. Brother, okay, and I'm being as honest as I can here, that's the most profound thing I've ever heard you say. Use forgiveness as a weapon.
Yes.
It's like kind of using love as a weapon.
Yeah, throw it everywhere.
Using peace as a weapon.
Put it out there. Yeah, peace, same thing. Use peace as a weapon. Because it's a way of settling stuff, but it's a genuine way of setting yourself free. And if go back to Ukraine and Russia, if they could forgive each other, they'd be literally setting the whole world free. There's no mistake about that.
Ooh, I'm getting a bit inside. I'm getting
That's
a little
powerful,
bit
isn't it?
I'm getting a little bit emotional. It's
Yeah.
powerful. I can feel that inside me.
Yeah, it just depends which way we look at things, or which way we actually express. Sometimes, well, maybe not sometimes, probably all the time, it takes words alone. Words alone can stop a war. Now, words can also start a war, which I'm assuming that is what causes wars. But words alone can stop wars. Just powerful words. Words with meanings that will, like, let's say, touch people's hearts, if you like.
Genuine
But if
words.
we're up there and we're thick and we think, look, nothing is going to stop us now, then there'll always be a war. Always. If there's never a war on the outside, there'll always be a war inside us. But as again, back to the one thing, let it go. We have to let it go. We can't assume that we're right in absolutely everything, because sometimes that can be a very, very, very big problem. thinking that we're right in everything. Now, don't get me wrong, I do be right in 99.9% of the things, but not everything. That was a joke, Dean. Honestly. I said I do be right in 99.9% in everything. I've been sarcastic.
Stop using sarcasm.
I know, I love it. I can't help it. I love using it.
You're brutal at it, though. Doesn't work.
Sure, I know I'm brutal at it. That's why I keep doing it.
Sorry, I was being
But
sarcastic.
I'm trying to make perfection with my sarcasm.
No, just see that other shit that you just said a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
That for me is your gift.
I'm serious about that. I'm
That
serious.
for me is your gift. Put your energy into that.
Dean, I do put energy into that. I'm very... Listen, if I seen two young lads fighting this minute, I'd grab a hold of the two of them and I'd literally shout at them and tell them, look, shake hands, make peace, forget about, you don't need to be fighting. Why are you fighting? We do not need to fight. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care what anyone thinks. We do not need to fight. Fighting should not be a way of life for nobody. Simple as. That's how it is. That's in my books anyway. And I'm not saying everybody would agree with that. We all want to be out there and getting, get a pinch at each other, if you like. For what? To satisfy the demons that's inside us. Not good enough.
I remember years ago, I punched the fella in the head.
Oh, I don't believe this. You just went and blew it, Dean.
I punched the fella in the head, right? And it was over something like tiny, something trivial. But it doesn't matter what it was over. I punched the fella in the head and he dropped to the ground. And I realised in that moment, I could have killed him there.
Yeah.
I was 10 years of age.
Right.
He was 10 years of age. Did you ever see a little wall that you want to sit on? And I wanted to sit on it. And he was sitting on it. And he wouldn't let me on it.
Right.
So I dragged him off and punched him in the head and dropped him onto the floor. And at that moment, I just thought...
And were you little friends before this?
We were friends, yeah.
Did you become friends afterwards?
We were friends after it.
Did you feel bad about it?
I just got a little reality check going. I could have killed him there.
So was that a learner for you for the rest of your life?
For the whole of my life. I've never hit another person in anger since then.
No. So it was a learner then.
Absolutely. It was a fucking wake up call. Who do I think I am to physically strike another person in anger?
I don't think it's a thing that should be done. Look, I can honestly say I have been angry in the past myself. I have got into bits of, say, silly arguments years and years ago. Whether I'm right or wrong on it, my way of dealing with was praying for them, that person or them people. Honestly, that's how I've done. I've physically, let's say, use my energy, if you like, my time, praying for the other people. I've seen good changes coming to certain people that I prayed for. Thanks be to God. In a sense, it's like you want to bring the good out of people. We're not all bad, like, you know what I mean? Even if we make mistakes, even if we fall out, even if we happen to be getting angry with somebody or for one reason or another, I think everybody needs a break. Everyone needs a chance to sort of, let's say, revive themselves and be that better person.
Okay, so prayers, right? I don't know how many people live in Ukraine, how many people live in Russia, but
Yes.
I'm sure there's millions of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure every single hour of every single day,
Yeah.
millions of people are praying,
Yes.
praying
Yes. Yes.
for an end to war and
Yes.
peace.
Yes. I know what you're coming at, but go on anyway.
And where I'm coming at is,
Why is it still happening?
why is it still happening?
Because we need more prayers. But also think, if it wasn't for the grace of God and the prayers from these people, things would be 10 times worse. The whole world could be fighting. Not just Ukraine and not just Russia.
But with nuclear war, it's essentially the whole world is fighting, because
Nuclear won't happen.
if one bomb goes off,
It won't happen.
well, they're threatening it.
But it won't happen. Because God will not give them the power to let it happen. Believe me.
But they've done it. They've done nuclear bombs.
No, they've done little tests of small things.
They've done. If you tell that to the people who live in
stuff out there. I know
in
that.
Japan, in
Yes.
Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
But
back then they used them.
That's right. It happened.
They used
yes.
them. They did do them. They pressed the
happened, but
button.
it
They dropped
didn't-
the bomb.
Yeah, but it didn't destroy the whole world. It destroyed the areas that they were in. Now, don't forget, if it wasn't for prayer, it would be a lot worse also. So whatever's going on in this world, and if you're praying for that situation, always remember it might have been worse. So yes, you're right. There probably is millions of people praying for them. I pray myself for them. Maybe
I would say there's possibly 1 billion people in this world praying every night for an end to war.
yeah, and how many
in-
billion people in the world altogether?
About 8.
8 billion.
Yeah,
And you think there might be 1 billion praying?
tonight. Yeah, all over the world.
It's possible. It is possible. But the truth is, there's not enough prayer in this world. There's too much bad things happen in this world. We are not allowing God to do his good work in this world.
Why?
Why? Because we push him out of our lives in every possible way.
Why?
There's a lot of us in Ireland who are claiming to be Catholics. We don't pray. We don't go to Mass. We don't receive the body of Christ. We don't receive confessions. Ireland has always been a great country, has always been a very religious country. If we go back 40 years, Ireland was a more holier country, and there was lesser bad things happening in it.
In this country, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
there was war. The thing called the Troubles. Up
Right.
in Northern Ireland where there was
Yes,
bombs going off.
That's right, there was, yes.
You know what I mean?
Choices that people made.
Yeah. So we had loads of religion then.
We won't, no, hold on for 1 second. We're not going to go too deep into that. Listen, that was happening in Northern Ireland. Okay.
Yeah, it was happening in Southern Ireland as well.
I just said to you, I was talking about Ireland. Ireland was a more religious country, and it was.
Yeah, but we also had
Everybody was brought
we also
up.
had war.
Right, 1 second. War didn't say that we didn't make the claim that we didn't have faith. There was a stronger faith in Ireland, and it was a poorer country. People were literally not starving, but they're hungry, but not far from it. Being honest, there was a lot of poverty. It was worse then in the poverty side of what it is now. But on the other hand, people still went to Mass, they prayed, they stuck together, they had faith in God, and it brought them through it all. Okay, a lot of hard times. Now, on the other hand, today, religion is almost out the door, especially the Catholic faith. And again, I'm not talking for everybody, because some people might like to hear this. There's not as much people going to Mass, not as much people praying. We're down, our priests now, we're very, very great big shortage of priests. Some of our churches are getting closed down.
So why do you think that is?
Because I think it is. We're pushing God out the door.
Why do you think we're pushing God out the door?
Because we're losing faith.
Okay, so I'm gonna and then ask
We're
again.
losing
Why
faith.
are we losing faith?
We're not practicing it, so it's leaving us. But if we stay in touch with God, we will always have our faith, and it will get stronger.
So do you think in this country that the church has
Like-
any role in the fact that people aren't into it anymore?
No, because I don't think it's anything to do with the church, because people have to make their own decisions. Like years ago, they'd say, look, people would pass the pub to get to the church. Now they pass the church to get to the pub. So what does that tell you? It means they don't go to Mass. It means they don't go into the church, even when the churches are opened, they don't go in to say a prayer. So therefore, we're setting ourselves apart from God. We are genuinely pushing ourselves away, whether we realise it or not.
So what's the reason for that?
One reason is that we live in so busy of a world that we're allowing ourselves to be distracted, let's say, by the earthly possessions.
Yeah, but there's also another argument that a lot of the pain that has happened in this country has come through church, come through the Catholic
But
religion.
see, this is it, you see, but there's also weaknesses in the church.
Absolutely.
There is.
Just like you said at the start of this, there's saints that are in purgatory. There's
Yes.
saints that are in hell.
Now, first of all, I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm simply saying that, let's say the world is losing its faith. I guess if you were talking to somebody now in their 70s, I bet they'd have a great story to tell about the church and about faith and about the faith that people has in God. Now, don't get me wrong, there is people still that doesn't go to the church, but they have their own personal relationship with God. They will do their prayers at home. They'll be kind to people, they treat people right, they'll invite God into their lives, into their homes, into their families. There's a lot of that. It's great, good people for that. There's just not as much The teachings now as well, the teachings are as much. Like years ago in school, first thing in the morning, you do the morning prayer. Before you go home in the evening from school, you do the evening prayer. You see, that doesn't happen now.
So I think the conversation about religion, especially in an Irish situation, is difficult because religion has caused war in this country. In Ireland, when I was growing up, religion was talked about on the news morning, noon and night in terms of Catholic and Protestants and different religions and so on. And that caused war here. The other thing that, like you were saying there, that if you ask somebody who's 70 now, who, what's their memory?
They'll tell you a good story.
Okay, so what I'm saying is exactly another 70-year-old will tell you horror stories that they've had of their experience.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that also. But what I was specifically saying was, if you ask a 70-year-old person who has a good faith, who has faith, they'll tell you a good story. Remember I was saying earlier on about Medjugorje, yeah? We were talking about heaven, yeah. I love talking about that, right?
I know you do.
This is my happiness.
I'm getting Matt just make a contract up in heaven.
When we go to, yeah, you can slag it, all right?
No, I'm just here. You were the one talking about the beds.
Yes. What's Matt Smith got to do with heaven?
He can sort us out.
I'm sure he's looking for a ticket as well, is he?
Yeah.
Anyway, when I go to Medjugorje, I sort of describe this to myself, right? People are asking me, what's it like? And I say to them, I can't describe it. It's so beautiful over there. It's so nice. Medjugorje is, as you know, is in Croatia, yeah? It's a land where Our Lady appeared, yeah? And it's absolutely adorable, yeah? There's been lots and lots of miracles took place over there, right? There's lots of, if you go to YouTube now, you'll see all the different testimonies that people have given from healings through the power of our Blessed Mother. When people ask me about Medjugorje, I'd say, I can't describe how it is because it was so beautiful. I was, let's say, so full of life. It was like the Holy Spirit was living inside me. That's how good I felt. I couldn't find words good enough to describe how good Medjugorje was and the experience I had over there. So the only words that came to my mind was, it was like a piece of heaven.
Mm.
That's the way I described Medjugorje to people. People that were asking me that hadn't been there and saying to me, what do you think of Medjugorje? What was it like? And had you a good time over there? I had a good time, but it was all in prayer. My whole week was in prayer. The only way that I could describe it was, and I was really meant it deeply, like, Medjugorje for me was like it was a piece of heaven. It was like it was in heaven. So if they ask you the question, how do you know if you were never in heaven? Maybe it's just God is putting the words into my mouth.
Mm.
Or Our Lady. It was as if Our Lady was just saying to me, look, this is what heaven is like. The joy.
Giving you a sample.
Yes, the joy. So it's like the joy, the peace, everything about it. Say the prayer itself, the candlelight procession, the churches, the mass, the grotto, everything about it was absolutely peaceful and beautiful. So it was like, how to say it? It's like Our Lady is saying to you in her own words, do you want more of this? If you want more of this, keep following me.
So I had a question I wanted to ask. Is there different heavens?
Is there different heavens?
Yeah. You know, like, so
I don't know if there's different heavens, but the heaven that I experience in Medjugorje and Lourdes,
yeah,
that's the heaven that I want.
Okay, so say Muslims or Protestants.
No, I think we're all going to the one place because we all believe in God. We all believe in God, but we just we practice and we preach our different faiths.
Yeah.
But I do believe that we all believe in the one God.
So
like you have born again Christians there, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
They believe in Jesus Christ. They believe in God our Father Almighty. They believe there is a heaven. They believe in the Holy Spirit. Now, they do believe in Our Lady, but they don't pray to Our Lady. But they love her. what they believe is going, basically bringing their hearts directly to Jesus. But I can't do that. I believe Our Lady is the mediator between us and Jesus, us and God, us and heaven. So she's the mediatrix in our lives. So we go to her, we pray to her, whatever our intentions might be, or our prayers might be, our faith might be. If it's weak, we pray to her to strengthen it for us. Strengthen our faith in Our Lady and in our Lord. And Our Lady will bring our prayers to Jesus, bring them to heaven for us. That's my faith and my belief.
Do you remember we were talking to Richie a few weeks ago?
Yes.
And we were talking about he went off and done some medicine.
Yes.
So I went and done some medicine.
Right.
And I met what you would call Mary.
Who's Mary?
Well, our Mother Mary.
No, for you, who is Mary?
So what the way I experienced it was, and this is why I was asking about different faiths and different religions, the way I experienced it was, one, it was like Mother Earth. I would call her Mama Ayahuasca. And then I also experienced her as Mary with a veil. During the journey that I went on, so when you say you got a sense of, or you got a sample of heaven, I got exactly the same thing.
So do you believe in heaven?
What I felt was there is a place that is within us that is all love, that all we have to do is open ourselves to it and we go there. So that's what I felt. Just like you were saying earlier on, if we want it, if we choose it, if we make the decision, well then that's what happens.
So did you have to take herbs to feel this?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
See, that's the difference.
I've also experienced it without that, through different things, like what you would call prayer, I would call meditation. So you know when you pray,
yes,
well, I would call that meditation. So I've experienced it through that as well.
Like I do meditate on my prayer.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing. Just like we discussed before, the word priest and the word rabbi and the word shaman.
Yes.
They're all similar words for describing the same thing. Just because we call it a priest and someone else calls it a vicar doesn't mean it's different.
Are you saying to me that, Gene, you experienced like powerful feelings? Is that what you're saying?
I experienced heaven.
Was it from your heart, from your soul?
I experienced heaven.
Yes. Was it from your heart, from your soul, or was it an imagination or something like?
It wasn't an imagination. It
was. Imagining
I was there. I was in it.
Yeah. So what did you believe in that moment then?
That we all came from and go back to the one place that is love.
So you do believe in heaven then?
So I experienced heaven, yeah, but I don't. The way I see it, and this is what I was trying to say about the different religions, because we all have different ways that we see it, believe in it, and the words that are behind it.
Right.
Like,
if you say you experience heaven,
yeah,
what was heaven like for you in your experience?
it was like a beautiful place that was full of love.
Yeah, well, I would describe heaven as that. Yes,
Exactly the same. So when I'm asking you about beds, I'm not trying to take the piss out of you. I'm just trying to explore in your head, because I'm not in your head or in your heart. I'm trying to explore what is that, because I was in a place like that.
Right. Well, I again back talk about heaven. I do not know what heaven is like, but as I explained to you earlier on about Medjugorje and about say Lourdes, where Our Lady appeared also, my only explanation I can give is like it's like Our Lady was putting these words and thoughts into my mind. This is a part of heaven for me.
When I was on this journey I was on, I met what you call Our Lady.
Yes.
She was there and she showed me the way to go home.
Right.
Yeah. She was there with her veil, standing there, holding me.
And you believe that?
Well, I was there. Just like when you were
So
in
you believe
Medjugorje.
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you were in Medjugorje and you went, it's like she's given me a sample of what it's like.
Yes.
This is exactly the experience that I had.
But in a different faith. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, yours is kind of like from the Bible, from the Catholic Christian religion.
Yes.
This is really interesting. This was actually showed me all of the religions.
Right, come
So
on.
when I went on this journey, it showed me all of the religions. The Native American, the Inca, the Egyptian, the Catholic.
All the different religions.
Showed me them all. And it said to me, basically, they're all the same. They're all just bringing you home.
Yeah. See, this is it. This is why I don't judge other people's religions and the faith they have, because I do still believe that there's only one God above us all, no matter what religion we are. I do believe that.
So what happens here on this earth is that we get caught up in our own little games, and religions and other things cause wars. You know what I mean? Our own external stuff. Like, I don't know what Putin wants in Russia. I haven't got a clue what he wants. I don't know what Joe Biden wants in America.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not love.
No, it's not love. And that means they're lost. And it means for a person that don't know what they want in life, and they're chasing after something that's going to make no sense in the end, it means there's an emptiness inside them that needs fulfilling. And they think that power or property or money or land is going to fulfill this emptiness. It's not. It's called a temporary happiness. If you want a real and true happiness, we get that from God above.
And what's that phrase? If you don't believe in something,
If
you'll
you
fall
don't
for
believe
anything.
in something, you'll fall for anything. Yeah, that's a good one there. Yeah, I like that.
Kind of like they're searching outside for all of the stuff, and all they have to do is forgive themselves.
It's what goes on inside.
And go inside.
Is what counts. Forget about the outside. The outside is we're craving for this, we're craving for that. There's some people even chasing stuff in this world that they don't need. They don't even know if they even want it or need it. Never mind knowing that they don't need it.
Sure, we're chasing attention.
Attention, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
Please look at me. Please like
seeking,
me.
There's money seeking, there's property seeking, there's land seeking, there's
Revenge.
there's power seeking, there's all these things, yes. And if you think, where's all our past presidents? Where's all our past businessmen? Where's all our past, let's say, whatever, architects, singers, film actors, all these people that had power, but only power here on earth. No power inside them. No power in heaven. Where are they all today? What were they chasing after? They were chasing after nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So that's it.
They wanted everything, but everything meant nothing in the end.
That's an interesting thing. So when I was on this medicine, I had an opportunity to see all the stuff I was chasing and see all the stuff I was running away from. Sometimes we're running away from stuff like shame and guilt and resentment. And sometimes we're chasing stuff like attention or power or money or whatever it is.
Attention seeking is not great. It's not a good thing. There's no harm in looking good. Like, don't get me wrong. You can dress up good and get your own haircut and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, if you're always on the, let's say you're always on the, trying to be on, let's say, the center line, if you like, it's not good. It's I suppose it can make a person look stupid at times, probably, but it also can make them lose themselves.
So let me just explain what I was trying to talk about there. This medicine, or this meditation, or this prayers, or whatever I was, this feeling that I had, this place that I was in, it was showing me all of the stuff I was running towards and all of the stuff I was running away from. And sometimes we're running away from stuff. We don't even realise what we're running away from the stuff.
Right.
And it showed me it's a choice. I can choose to continue to run away from this stuff, or I can turn around and look at it. Or I can choose continue to try and chase this stuff, or I can turn around and look at it.
So which was good and which was bad? The stuff you're running from or the stuff you're chasing?
Both of them were kind of the same. It was like it was one and the same thing. It was saying, look, you're chasing that and you're running from that. Just hold on for a second and just stop and
Trying to get a balance here, like.
sit where you are and try and get a balance. What are you running from and what are you chasing? And it was kind of like we're always moving to the future and running from the past, or thinking about the past and frustrated about the future. And it was kind of teaching me, just sit where you are. Just be where you are.
It's coincidence that you actually said that about there now, about the future. I was reading I have a little blue book at home, yeah? And I was actually reading the one in my mother's home as well. She's one. And I do open this say a little prayer first and open this book randomly. And there's some lovely messages from Our Lady. It's Our Lady's blue book, we call it, yeah? And that was one of the things that she said. It's Our Lady's messages, basically. And that was one of the things she said on the book was, in other words, stop thinking about your past, but also stop worrying about your future. And so I read it again and I read it again, and I kept reading it over and over and over because I wanted it to register in me, because I have that habit of worrying about the future for one reason or another. Yeah. I shouldn't be. I think probably everybody does. I'm guessing everybody does anyway. Me in particular, I have that kind of habit of worrying about, like, I have my faith and I know things will be good, please God, because I leave things in God's hands. But there's that little thing in me where I worry about, not everything, certain things in the future. And I know deep inside me that I shouldn't be worrying about them. Because if my faith is stronger, then I wouldn't have to worry. So that's where it sort of comes back to me again, that at these moments, that's when I find my faith weak. So I'm telling myself, look, if I had a stronger faith, then I wouldn't have to worry about anything. Because the reality of it is I'd be leaving everything in God's hands and just say, Jesus, look, you deal with this.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be 20 things we're worrying about. It really only has to be one.
Yeah,
because
sometimes
one thing can take all our focus.
Yeah, take all your attention, that's
or
right.
Or one thing in our past, some regret we have, or some romantic, beautiful memory, and we're always thinking about the past. Remember that? Remember we had this and it was perfect. Actually, you can hold on to that for the rest of your life and not be right here, right now, with yourself and with your family.
I know I'm probably getting too deep into certain things.
No, deep is where we have to go.
I think it's the devil's way of trying to distract our peace or upset our peace. When we think of, let's say, whatever might be in the past, just say wrong things or stupid things, and they mightn't mean anything at all in the first place, and also worrying about the future. Because I think the fact that it's disturbing our peace. Do you know now?
Yeah.
But if we don't allow that to happen to us, let nothing disturb our peace, and just leave things in God's hands, and have that faith, knowing in your heart and in your soul that God is going to take care of everything and make everything right, then you're not leaving no gaps there. You're leaving no gaps for nobody to come in and disturb that peace that's inside you, within your family or around you, but also inside your heart.
Yeah, but so what you're also saying there is that thing that causes you to think about the past or the future can also just be within you. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be somebody else outside of you. It can be just Martin just needs to have more faith in that everything is going to be.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're leaving that door open
for your own head or your heart to drift.
Yes. So you're getting distracted here now. So your faith is weakening. Why? Because you're allowing that to happen to you. But if you have the stronger faith and be more positive about everything, then there's no room for negativity. So your faith stays strong because you're being strong.
You know these guys who are in charge of the world, like the presidents, the fellas with the power.
I don't think anything of them.
we talk that they might be chasing something like power or money.
They are chasing power.
But so if they're chasing something, and
They're chasing an emptiness. Is
are
what
they
they're
also
chasing.
running from something?
It's possible, yes.
And if they are, what would that be? What are they running from?
They're probably running from the good stuff in their lives.
They're running from the good
Yeah,
stuff.
the good things in their lives.
What do you mean?
Without realizing it. They're running from the thing that can bring them true happiness. But they're chasing the thing that can only bring them temporary happiness. It's never going to last. Never.
And also, I think that they might be
tell
running.
you what.
They might be running from their pain inside.
They mightn't even take time. They mightn't even take that moment to feel pain inside because they're so interested and so concentrated in the thing ahead of them that they want. They want more and more and more and more and more. And they have so much. They realize, what's happening here? Why do I want all this? I have everything now. I'm at the top of the ladder. Where do I go from here? I go straight to the bottom again and the inside. Because why? I've fulfilled something that I thought was going to bring me happiness. But now I realize the emptiness is still there inside me. So I've obviously been chasing the wrong thing. So now let's go back to where I left behind and see, is that what really brings me happiness? Is that what really brings me fulfillment? Is that what really fills the emptiness inside me? So the reality of it is, there can be the most educated people in the world. There can be the most powerful people on this earth, not in heaven, on earth. They can be the most, as you would say, the most loudest speakers. They realized everything that they were chasing meant nothing in the end. And if you want an example of that, yeah, let's say, for instance, right, you're a young lad, yeah, and I'm just saying this, you join a boxing club, yeah, and you start doing good in that boxing club, and you want to win a fight, you win the next fight, the next fight after that, and before you know, then you're 30 years old and you're boxing professional fights. You want that fight, don't you? You want to win it. And you go on, you win it, and then you go on another one, then there's another one, another one, another one. Before you know it, your bank account's overflowing with money. You have a new mansion, you have a new car, you have all the belts. Now you're at the very, very, very top. Where do you go from there? Where do you go? It's all material. Every bit of it is material. So now you've conquered everything that you thought was going to bring you happiness. But then your mind comes to a stop, a standstill, and you realise, is this what really brings me happiness? No, it's not. But they don't realise that until they actually get there. Now they're searching for something else. They're at the top of that ladder. There's no more steps to climb. So now they're searching for something else. They have to take a different direction to see what is it that really makes me happy. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to drink. Some people turn to gambling. Some people try to find ways to spend money. Some people go on holidays. They go on so much holidays, the excitement leaves the holidays. There's no more excitement left in these holidays. Where do I turn to? What do I do now? Where do I go to? By the grace of God, they might have a family. They might have a wife and some kids that they can turn to for happiness, real and true happiness. Not just material happiness. Not just happiness that's only there as a temporary object. So the real happiness is now, for them now, is in their family. But they didn't realise this because they were chasing the other thing. You see? So now they're back to their family and they're feeling it. Now they know, look, hold it, this is where the love is. The love is not in the mansion. The love is not in the money. The love is not in my big fancy Bentley car. The love is not in my boxing gloves. The love is not in all the lads and the promoters that surrounded me that I thought did love me and had respect for me and cared about me. All he ever cared about was money.
The love isn't in me 6 businesses. It isn't in the fact that I'm forcing a group of people to do something that they don't want to do. It isn't all the political power.
They turn back then, if they're lucky enough by the grace of God, they've built up a family in all these years. So now they're turning back to their family, the wife, the kids, If they're not old, if they're not too old, then the grandkids, if they have gone that far without realizing where their real and true happiness was. So now they're beginning to realize that everything they ever wanted was inside them. They didn't take the time to stop where their real and true happiness was. And it was love inside them and around them, but not in the things they were chasing. That's why so many people fall and fall hard from the top as they thought was the top. But that's going to continue. It will always continue.
Yeah, when that's everyone's own journey.
Is about power.
Yeah, but the world is also about coming here and living your life and learning those lessons and using your decisions, your choices, and your will to point in whatever direction you think is the way to go.
It's sad if people don't learn these lessons.
Yeah, but if people don't learn the lessons in your world, they go to purgatory or they go to hell.
No, I don't mean in a sense of punishment. I don't mean it like that. The other lessons, lesson, some part of the lesson is chasing the wrong thing, chasing something that's no good for us, chasing something that's irrelevant, completely irrelevant to our lives.
So we think we look at this mountain and we go, that's the mountain I want to climb.
Yes, I think we've said something like this before, where we think we need it all. We don't need it all.
Yeah, when is enough enough? When are we full? When are we fulfilled? When is that space that we think we're trying to fill, when does it get filled? So there's a story, there's a fella rode from New York to Galway. Damien Brown is his name. Rode in a little rowing boat.
A rowing boat from where?
He rode across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, on his own, solo rowing trip.
Did you just say from New York to Galway?
He rode in a boat.
Was he an Irishman? He was.
An Irishman in a boat. When he got to Galway, he was being interviewed. And one of the fellas says, what was it like? And da-da-da-da. He said, what did you miss? How he said, what I missed was, what I crave is a deeper connection with people.
Yes.
He said, going on a journey like that gives you a great perspective as to
on his own, was he?
On his own. It gives you a great perspective as to what's important. He was emotional, he was nearly crying. It was great to see.
Life.
A big, huge rugby fella sailed across the Atlantic Ocean 112 days on his own.
Oh my God.
All types of weather. Boat capsized 3 times.
Yes.
The man puts the microphone in his face and he said, what did you miss? And he says, I missed the connection with people.
Yes.
He said, that's the lesson I learned.
So basically the whole thing meant nothing to him then.
Well, the whole thing did. He learned that lesson.
In a sense.
He learned that lesson. He had to go on that journey to learn that lesson.
Yeah. So
he
thought doing this was actually going to fulfill.
Possibly, yeah. But what he realised was what fills my heart, what fulfills me, what makes me feel connected is people.
Yes.
It's the simple things. It's just walking down the road, holding your niece's hand, going into a shop and sitting down and having a coffee and a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not the medals and the awards and the adulation and the you're a superhero.
It's the human side of life, basically.
It's just that human love connection.
Yeah.
That human love connection. And I think that those lads that are doing war around the world, probably what they are running away from is that human connection. Because that's undeniable. If you have that human connection, you can't kill. If you have that love inside you,
well, I think that says the same thing for us all. Like if you're gone away from home now, let it be for a couple of hours or let it be for a couple of days. There's that inside you where you just can't wait to get home, basically to your family. Like, you know what I mean? So
some people can't wait to get away from home.
No, I'm not like that. I actually don't like going away from home. If I'm going somewhere like...
And the reason is that because your home is an environment that's good for you, that you feel stronger in. Some people don't. For some people, their home environment isn't the place where they feel... Yeah,
I do feel that way. Thanks be to God for that. And again, that's by the grace of God. If I was going from here now to, just say Cork, anywhere like that day, and it's 3 or 4 hours drive, whatever. Well, I'm actually... Even on my way down, I'm looking forward to getting home. And I'm sure, like, probably everyone feels the same way about that. But yeah, you're probably right about the sense where some people can be gone for a day or a week and they haven't got that longing to be home. I'm just different. If I went to, say, from here to England now, for instance, and if I have something to do, I'll take whatever time it needs to do it. But after that, then I like to think that I'm not lost or wasting time or stuff like that. I want to be home with my family, simple as. And that's just the way I feel. That's no pretense, like.
Yeah, but also that's a great position to be in because you have a family that loves you and that wants you there and that you want to be there with them. That's not the case for everybody. I would imagine President Putin or Joe Biden aren't coming from a place where their family situation, their family home is full of love and they want them back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I don't think you get to that place where you're carrying out war around the world.
Yeah, for people like that, there's something missing. There's
something missing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Missing.
I think there's something missing with them, and I think, yeah, man, that rower said it. There's something missing. Is that human connection?
Yeah, that was a good answer to that person that asked him the question.
Yeah, and
he really meant that because he felt it.
100%.
He was isolated on how long? 112 days.
112 days. Boat capsized. He was on his own. He actually crashed into a rock just off the coast of Galway there.
It was like he got a new lease of life.
It was like he got a new perspective, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this reporter was asking him, she goes, I have to ask you this question. What's the next thing? And he just stopped her and he said, look, the next thing is people. I'm hanging around with my family. That's the next thing. Don't be trying to push me onto another journey that I don't even want to go on just because you're on, you want the next story. Stop chasing the story.
It's possible he'll probably never do it again.
It's possible. He might do it another 100 times if he doesn't learn the lesson, if he doesn't hold on to the lesson. But he might only need to do it once.
It seems like he has learned the lesson, though.
He might only need to do it once.
Yeah.
That might have been his meditation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Imagine that rowing day in, day out.
Oh, man.
112 days.
Man. So it's only obvious then it made his journey twice as hard. The fact that he was rowing, he was taking on this challenge alone, and then the fact that he was craving inside to link up with human beings again.
I don't even know if the craving inside came straight away. I think it came closer to the end of it. What he was looking for was food. That's one thing he said. He said, I just miss being able just to eat food. Yeah, he said, but right at the end of it, I got this overwhelming sense that it's about the human connection.
Yes.
And it reminded me of a film. There's a great film, actually, where this fella, Into the Wild it's called. You should watch this film, Martin. So this fella, his parents are American high achievers and they put him through college and he gets this big achievement in college. So he comes out of college. The start of the film is he's coming out of college and he goes, there you go, man, and that, I made it. And they're like delighted and they have the dinner and all this. And in the dinner he says to them, listen, now that I have that, I'm going to head off and do my own thing for a while. And they're like freaking out. No, you can't. Where are you going? You know, what about this risk and that risk? And what about if this happens? And he goes, look, all my life I've lived this really comfortable existence and everything has been real safe and you've been planning and, you know, helped me with my future and all this. But actually, I just want to have a moment to myself. So he heads off and he wanted
his own time, basically.
He wanted to live now rather than living in the future. They were always planning his future. So he went off and he travelled America and he went everywhere and he was sleeping in bush shelters and he was meeting, all different types of wonderful people, you know, old people, young people, people on drugs.
Some frightening situations as well.
Exactly, everybody, all types.
Right.
All of life, he went and met them. And then he just had this burning thing inside him. Just keep on heading north, head north, keep on going. And he heads so far north that he's up in Alaska. And it's, he's isolated. And he crosses this river. And he's all the way along now, he's been learning how to survive out on his own. And this one fella teaches him how to, skin an animal and all this type of stuff. And told him all the stuff to look out for. So he's going into the wild. That's the name of the film. He's going into the wild. He's going on a journey, a journey inside himself and a journey into the wild. And he's heading north. And he gets to this place and he thinks he's in the place where he's found, the ultimate wilderness, the ultimate place, the ultimate happiness. And he realizes this is fucking hard. This is hard work. It's not as easy as it says in the book, just catch an animal and skin it and cook it. He's finding that really hard, and he catches an animal and he makes the balls of it, and there's all maggots in it and all this. And he has this one book, and the book shows him all the plants that he can eat. So he starts eating berries and leaves and grasses, and he realizes he misses his family, and he goes on this journey in his head and in his emotions, and he misses the family, and he can't eat, and he starts to lose weight, and he starts to dehydrate, and the weight is dropping off him.
Yes.
And the river is rising, and he can't cross back the river. And the winter sets in, and he's in this little shitty caravan on his own.
And was he a traveller?
It wasn't a traveller, no. But he went on some journey.
But he was mad to get home then.
Go and watch that film. And it's like what this fella went on. He went on a journey into the wild to realise what he needs, what he craves is that connection with his family, with love.
Sometimes we can be craving for something and we not know what we're craving for, what's right or wrong for us.
And I think the point of this film is until it's too late sometimes.
God's got a hold of my life and he won't let me go. Jesus got into my heart, he got into my soul. God's got a hold of my life and he won't let me go. Jesus got into my heart, he got into my soul. I used to be living in sin. Oh, but Jesus, he brought me in. He told me I was forgiven. By his love, I have been redeemed. God's got a hold of my life and he won't let me go. Jesus got into my heart, he got into my soul. God's got a hold of my life and he won't let me go. Jesus got into my heart, he got into my soul. I wanted to say something, yeah?
That's beautiful.
Do you know when I talk about Medjugorje, yeah?
Yeah.
And Lourdes, right? A lot of people go to these places, yeah? And you know, for
I love
any
the way
people,
you say that.
Yeah. For anybody who sort of maybe has a bit of faith in their lives and they're sort of experiencing problems, let it be body, soul, or mind. It could be anything, yeah? And it could be just searching for peace. I would say 100% recommend take a trip to Medjugorje. It's actually only cheap for anyone that might have, say, financial problems, if you like. It's to get to Medjugorje now, you can book your ticket individually for about $170. You can book your hotel room for a week at say some of them are €15 a night, which is very good. The food is actually cheap in it. If you want, when you book your hotel room, yeah, you can actually pay that extra few bob and book your breakfast and your dinner. Very, very healthy foods. Absolutely wonderful, healthy foods in it. This is for people who doesn't know about this, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful place to go. And I can guarantee you that they will have 100% good experience in Medjugorje. Our Lady's real presence is in Medjugorje. And absolutely everybody that goes there loves it. Everybody that goes there talks very, very, very good about Medjugorje, yeah? And the only problem that people have when they talk about Medjugorje, now I'm saying this is the only problem, yeah, is that they cannot find the words to express
how amazing it is,
how good it is, and how beautiful and how wonderful and how peaceful it is. That's one of the most important things in it, is the fact, when I say the most important, it's one of the most recognizable things that people get in Medjugorje is the peace. And they bring that peace home with them. and they try to share it and spread it to others. But as I said again, the problem is they cannot find the words to express how actually good they feel and how good the experience has been in Medjugorje for them. It's just too beautiful to explain, and it's too beautiful in this life to miss out on. So I would recommend anybody that ever heard the word of Medjugorje, heard the name of it, go there if you can.
You know where I'm going at Christmas?
I don't know where you're going. I know where I'm going.
Not Medjugorje.
No.
Morocco. That's where I'm going to go and find peace.
What's in Morocco?
Is where I'm going to go surfing for 10 days.
No, I'm just saying, what's in Morocco?
It's North Africa. Lovely weather, beaches.
Yeah, that's supposing you don't know how to surf.
I do know how to surf.
Yeah, but what if the next person doesn't know how to surf?
You're not coming.
Don't go to Morocco. Yeah, if you want to find something real true.
What if you don't pray?
If you don't pray,
yeah,
go there and stay silent.
Come to Morocco with me.
No, go there, be silent, and still feel the peace.
Yeah.
You'll still experience that peace. Dean, you can be as sarcastic as you want to be, my friend, but I'm telling you, there is no describing this. It's absolutely beautiful.
I'll go to Medjugorje if you come to Morocco.
I will never go to Morocco.
Why?
Never, because I don't know how to ski for starters. But I will go to Medjugorje probably every year for the rest of my life.
I love it.
Because I know how to pray. So where are we now with this? What number are we on now? Number 20.
Episode 20.
Actually, I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed that
one. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Scurry has left the building.
Oh, dude, I hope you enjoyed Martin singing, because we might bring more singing. We might have a little surprise for you over the next couple of weeks.
If I was listening to myself, and if I could advise myself on the singing, if I had a day job, I'd say stick with the day job.
Episode 20. See you later.
God bless.
So that's us for this episode, a traveller and a countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.